for this. I wish I had one of them robot mowers.
Are you going to cut the grass? It's not going to cut itself.
I'm going, all right.
How long is it going to take?
All bloody day.
Start working.
Aidan, what do you think you're doing? You're supposed to be cutting the grass.
I've got a robot mower to test out. This is the Luba 2 all-wheel drive from Mammotion. Look, it's an absolute beast. A trusted choice for a large or uneven lawn. And that's definitely a large lawn. It's definitely uneven until I manicure it properly. And someday in the far, far future, there'll be a beautiful lawn over here as well. And I can use the robot lawnmower to do both. Straight out of the box, looks like a nice solid bit of kit. Cutting deck there. I've also got the garage and the wall mount for the referencing station and a solar panel kit for that as well. We just need to put a couple of bits on it whilst we hope it's not going to rain, and whilst the actual robot mower is IPX6 rated for waterproofness, my camera is not. This is the vision module that needs to go on first. And then it's just the bumper, which is one plug, and then it's got like a quick release system. Just need to pop the key in, which I assume is some kind of resistor. And then just here you can put a SIM card in. That is optional. But before we use it, we need to make sure it's charged up. I've got a few options here. I've got two leads there. One's for the actual charger for the charging station. One's for the RTK communication. You've got 10 meters worth of extension cable there. I can also plug this in with this and have it together, and it will run off of just this one power lead, or I could do that separately with this plug, but I'm going to use the solar panel because I'm going to put it up there. Definitely nice to have a UK plug and these handles on the side. Whilst it's charging, I think I'll put the garage roof on just in case, because I don't know if you already know, I haven't actually got any gutters on yet, so the water's just going to come straight off here. I will move this at some point, but I just want to see how it copes on this gravelled area, because this is a bit, it's a bit deep. This whole drive's going to be gravelled, and it will have to get across from one side to the other at some point. It also needs to get up this hill. What should we call it, a slope? It's not that steep, but I know this robot goes up to 80%, which is quite a lot more than the other ones I've seen on the market. It's handy that they give you a template for the backing plate on the wall bracket. I am using my own roofing screws because I'm going straight into steel, but they do supply you with these if you go into concrete or brick. This is stainless steel, nice quality. Solar panel all installed. So this is the bracket it comes with. That can be mounted separately. It can go on the wall or it can go on like a flat surface. I've set it at 45 degrees. Because it's coming up to winter, I could probably put it that way and it will perform better, but I'm not going to be cutting the grass much in winter. I did actually put it inside last night because there's been quite a few thefts in the area recently. I didn't want to leave it outside because I hadn't registered and locked it yet. Probably a good time to talk about security in general. They have got a little section there where you can pop in an air tag. This, when you register it, you lock it to your account, so anyone else that might take it, they would never be able to use it anyway because they wouldn't be able to operate it through the app. It actually talks to you. So last night when it was fully charged, it took about an hour roughly, it told me it was charged, and then when I picked it up,
Luba suspended in air.
I assume that alert goes through to your actual app, and then I just downloaded the app. It's got handy QR codes on the box there. I've done it on both my phones because this one's good for Bluetooth, this one isn't. I just need to register the robot and the RTK, and then I'll connect it to my illegal Wi-Fi just up there. That covers all of the land, and that way I don't need to use the SIM card. Just upgraded the firmware, it took about 10 minutes, and then it said upgrade successful, and I'm sure it just made like a samurai sword sound.
start charging.
The RTK system needed updating as well, so I've done that now. You've noticed that I've moved this, and that's because the RTK needs a clear line of sight to the sky. That's the reason why I've put it over there, and I was hoping I could just test the actual robot from here. It was just too close to the building. It wouldn't pick up and register its location. But it's not a problem because this isn't its final position. I'll probably pop it up near the Zen garden. I need to create a map now. Click here to leave. Oh, that scared me a little bit. I think back in the olden days you had to put a big wire around the outside. This just literally does it by positioning, and the technology is updated and it's good enough now to be able to cope for like going under trees and stuff. And it has got all the vision and the ultrasonic sensors on it, so it should be all fine. We'll go through the safety things later. No chance of a puncture on these tyres. I tell you what, these wheels, they look a lot like the ones on Matt Armstrong's McLaren. And if you fancy one of these wondrous machines yourself, there is an affiliate link in the description. And I know it's nearing the end of the season, but that just means there might be some deals on. Plus, I know they've got a machine that actually collects leaves. For now, I'm just going to push play.
Start mapping a task area.
I'm going to start mapping a task area. Task area map completed. That's just the one. I'm just going to do one for now, and then I'll do another one separately later, connect them up. 70mm down to 25. I'm going to go 70mm because it's quite rough, and I normally cut it at 90 on the ride-on anyway.
Start working.
Cat. And I've done the speed up, but it slows down because it's a little bit rough. If it ever gets on a flat bit, it will go faster, but I don't think it will over here. Okay, whilst it's over there, I think we can click on the camera and we can see what's happening. There we go. It has stopped. Now, it has done the perimeter 3 times, I think it was. And then it's been running for 100 minutes. It's only done this so far, and the reason being is because of this over here. You see, this is an overgrown area with oak, and I didn't map it out. I just wanted to see what it done. You could tell it was getting frustrated. It doesn't have the ability to recognise that it's still there from last time. So every time it come up, it had to go round. I'm impressed with what it's done so far. The weak link in this chain is me though, because I'm still learning how to use it. Right now it's paused because it's run out of battery. It's got 14%. There is no channel between the charging area and the task area. I forgot to set it up, so it hasn't gone back to charge. It's the next day. We are fighting the weather this week because it's been flooding over the UK. I'm doing this in between the rain showers. I just want to show you, literally on the phone, if I just click on it, I've set up a couple of areas, just been testing things out. Now, if I was to select one of them, then it will ask me if everything's like fine. Like pets are out of the way, I've got cables out of the way, etc. That's fine. And then it's gonna ask me what area I want to go to that one. I can do it now, I can do it weekly, I can do a specified date or fixed interval. And then the other settings are the cutting height, the task speed, so it can go faster or slower, the cutting path mode, and then the path spacing. So at the moment I've got it on 250 wide. I'll show you what the pattern is just over there. You could set it less. I suggest you probably set it less when you're going through thicker grass. The obstacle detection, I'll run you through that in a minute. How many times it goes around the perimeter, whether it does the perimeter first, etc. Cutting path angle, relative angle, I'm not sure what that means. It will check everything's fine. You click next and it will just bring itself out. You don't have to do anything else. I would suggest that you couldn't have this on gravel like I've got here, because it will eventually dig itself in. When it comes up, it will do a little spin and then it will back in. So it needs to be on solid ground. So I need to move it somewhere else basically. Say you wanted to get anywhere quicker, the best way to do that is in manual mode, because it will go faster than it travelling between areas on its own through the channels. It is quite rapid because you can set up 1.2 metres there and it will just go. We're not going to go to the right hand side because I know it won't get up. I mean, it performs well. I know it goes, is it 80%, which is like 38 degrees? I think that's about 27. Now, yesterday I did leave it out last night because I'd set it up then and it was linked to my account, and that means if anyone stole it, they wouldn't be able to link it onto their account. They wouldn't be able to use it. Now, as well as that, it's got to find my device on your actual app. So if you click on that, it will show exactly where it is. So I can see it there. If you then select it, you can then put on a location notification. If it's more than 50 metres outside of your set areas, it will give you an alert. That way you know that someone's stealing it and you have to run down the road in your pants. Whilst we're talking about expensive and not getting it stolen, yeah, it is pretty expensive, but you've got to factor in how much time have you actually got to cut your grass. So there's a lot of bloody grass here and I need a little bit of help. So my neighbour's gardener is £15 an hour. She does 2 hours every single Friday. That'll add up over a couple of years. Plus his ride-on mower, that was 8 grand. And this year he had to pay 2 grand out to get it fixed. Something to consider is the noise as well. Now this isn't mowing at the moment. It will start up in a second. I'm going to do the decibel rating on it just to show you how quiet it is. Quiet office maybe, it's like less than 60 decibels. It's like nothing in comparison to my ride-on. This is over 70. I did manage to do some mowing yesterday in between the rain and the dark. This is it ran for 120 minutes before it had to go and recharge. As soon as it drops below 15% battery, then it will go back. And then it took just over an hour to recharge back up to full. It was a bit quicker than the first time I tried it because I'd done the no-go zones. So I put this in and then that bit up there, and then that way it could just go round. Now you will notice it is quite stripy. I mean, that is dead straight. I'm amazed how accurate it is. This bit looks a little bit different to this section here. You see the grass is a little bit long at the moment. So that's about, well, anywhere between 150 and 200 millimeters. It can cut that high, but there is a slight issue with it, and you end up with a bigger stripes like that. They are really bloody sharp as well. So they're free, just in case you hit something, and then it'll fold back. But what happens if your grass is longer, it will get wrapped underneath here. See, there's a little bit of glass there. And then basically what happens is this gets locked to there pretty much, and then it won't cut. And that's why you end up with longer grass stripes and shorter grass stripes, because only one cutter is properly working. So yes, it can cut longer grass that's pretty rough, but that's not normally how you would use this. This is just to literally maintain your lawn. So if you cut it down properly, say I've done my ride on once, and then from now on in I can just use this in the summer once a week, and it will just take that top layer off. Plus it doesn't cost anything, because that solar panel will charge that RTK station and these ones will charge the robot. So I won't need any fuel, and it's just nice and quiet, and I can listen to the birds instead of some mower going meh. You are not meant to use this in the rain, in the wet. It has got a rain sensor on top, and if it feels rain, it will go straight back to its charging station. You are also not supposed to use it in the dark, but I do have a confession. I did try it out last night. I was cutting for a couple of hours in the dark. Here's a shot of that as well. I used that, that was my night vision camera on one of my phones. The reason why you shouldn't use it in the dark is because it then hasn't got the full capability of its safety features in terms of the triple reductant obstacle avoidance, namely the vision, and I'm not sure the ultrasonic sensors work as well. The bumper will work. There are 4 different ways to set that up. You can just use the bumper itself. That's the kind of setting that you would use if you're cutting long grass. If you don't do that, it might miss patches out. That was when it turned the corner, and then it see that, and then I think the sun flashed in its screen as well. So it thought it had to go around it because it was an obstacle that was in the way. The farm cats, they are quite interested in it, especially Millie. So I'm glad that it's got these extra features just in case. If all else fails, stop button on top. It is locked at the moment because I've really lifted it up. So if I set it going and then I lift up the front, it will stop the blades.
The robot tilted.
And it's stopped.
Working paused.
It'd be nice if you could drive it via Wi-Fi instead of Bluetooth though. Anyway, we're going to set up a new area just down here just to prove that it can do it. For my particular model, I've got the 5000 and that means I can do up to 30 different areas. It needs to be more than 5 meters squared. So you do your area first, then you do your no-go zones, and then you link up your pathways in between. I'm going to do a pathway from there all the way up here, but I'm going to take a route through this and that, and then go underneath there. I've done these 600 roughly. Because I don't have any overhanging trees or anything, I do have insulation. This insulation has 2 layers of aluminium foil, and that will significantly dampen the high frequency electromagnetic waves that this positioning system uses. So when it goes underneath there, we'll see whether it's able to manage. Right, I've done my channel. That's what it looks like. That is a good 60 meters, 70 meters probably. Let's see if it will drive itself down there. Okay, it got stuck. That's because it doesn't have the avoidance thing on it when it goes through the channels, and the channels are quite narrow. The accuracy on that was about 100 mil off, I reckon. So if I was to set it so it had 150 mil clearance either side, so I need an 800 wide pathway, and we can try it again. You can see I had a few problems there. It's just the mounds of grass that are a little bit too high. This bumper, the clearance is 50 mil. So if it hits anything, then it will stop. And when it's going through the channel, it's not going to have it. If you're in like one of the zones where you're cutting zones, it will just go around it. There is another way around that problem though. I don't even want this type of grass in the field. Be gone! It's driving around my tripod now. It's quite good at getting through it. It wanted to go around this way, but it went round and then underneath instead. There is a slight problem with having a channel on a driveway because the vehicles are going to move, and at some point there's going to be a wheel in the way of the robot. It's just going to stop. So when I have a lawn area over there that I want to cut, as well as one up here, all that I need to do is set up a channel to here and then set this as another area, which obviously I won't cut, and then I can do that, a little channel there just for that area. When it comes across here, it will use all of its sensors to get round the wheels and the cars.